to Abuja, to be precise, where our correspondent Dele Omoyeni is set to bring us up to speed with the protest there. Hello, Dele.
Morning, Bukola.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, we're here at the MKO Abiola Stadium, where, of course, the protesters have been restricted. And, of course, we went around this morning. We went to the Unity Fountain and the Eagle Square. Of course, what we saw there was a total silence. The entire nation's capital, especially the 3am zone, is very quiet. But one of the things that we noticed was that the cordon off of the National Assembly, which is opposite the Eagle Square, was done strictly by military officers. Military officers, unlike the last 2 days where you had a combined team of the police, the army, the civil defense, and all other security agencies. Now the National Assembly is strictly cordoned off by officers and men of the Nigerian army. When we left the 3am zone and went towards the Unity Fountain, we also found out that there was a truck of policemen parked just right in front of the entrance into the Unity Fountain, and there were a lot of security agents inside the Unity Fountain. So that entire place was also cordoned off by security agencies. So we came back here to the MKO Abiola Stadium, and of course you could see the protesters right behind me here. There's also a heavy presence of security agencies, a combined team of security agencies right here at the stadium. We have policemen, we have the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, we have the Nigerian Army, we have even the Nigerian Immigration Service as well here in front of the MKO Abiola Stadium. But Bukola, right in front of me, you see two documents, two papers, the list of demands of the protesters. Of course, the first one is a list of demands, this smaller one, but this second one is a list of people they believe are responsible for what is happening in Nigeria. But of course, this list of demands has an exhaustive list of some of the things that we've heard before. But one thing that stands out for me is that the protesters are saying that governors, especially, well, of course, the new minimum wage as signed into law by the president must be implemented across board at all levels of government. But that they're hearing that some governors are saying if they are to implement this new minimum wage, they will have to retrench workers. And they're saying, no, that is not acceptable, because right now, currently, there are lots of young people on the streets who do not have jobs. So the state governments are saying for them to implement the new minimum wage, they have to retrench workers. That is not acceptable to them. Of course, behind this longer list is a list of people that the protesters believe are responsible for the current quagmire in the nation. There are about 22 names there. Perhaps I can read out the first 10 names to you on that list. Of course, on top of that list, Bukola, is the President and Commander-in-Chief, President Bola Tinubu. You have the leaders of the National Assembly, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas. You have the CBN Governor, Yemi Cardoso. You have the IGP of Police. You have the Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. You have the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of the Nigerian Navy, the Controller General of Customs, and of course, you have judges. And finally, making the top 10 in that list is the Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu Bukola.
Yeah, Dele, apparently the protesters are getting more explicit in their demands. But what are you observing in terms of numbers, the outcome of protesters today as against what we saw yesterday and on day one?
It's very light here. I can tell you that, Bukola, it's very, very light. Of course, around town, because of the apparent show of force, like I said to you, when we got to the 3am zone, in front of the Eagle Square, the detachment of security agencies, cordoning of the National Assembly, and are strictly officers and men of the Nigerian. You can't find civil defense corps officers there. There's an armored tank there, and they've cordoned off that entire area. So there's a sense of perhaps apprehension from protesters. So they are not going to those areas. But of course, even here at the MKO Abiola Stadium, where they've been restricted to, there are not so many of them coming out this particular morning. But of course, it's all quiet in most parts of the city center, Bukola.
Just a quick one, Dele. Looks like the military is now involved in this, as the Chief of Defense Staff had said yesterday. So we wait to see what will play out regarding security. But is this the group now? I know people have said it doesn't really matter, but maybe on the pamphlet, is there a name of the group? Is it a Take It Back movement or just a group? As you've said, there's a new demand now that governors must pay the minimum wage and not retrench workers. So is this a new group entirely, or just individuals doing their thing? Dele, have you been able to gather if this group or these groups have a name, maybe a leader or nomenclature of sorts?
Okay, Coyote, one thing I can tell you is, okay, before I come to the issue of the protesters, yes, like you did say when you first started, the military is now fully involved. Of course, you would remember that when the Chief of Defense Staff briefed yesterday, and after following his briefing, our correspondent, Lucky Isaode, did ask him a question, and to that question, he responded that the military is fully on standby to respond in case of any issues. So, of course, it's not surprising that it's the Nigerian army that's now cordoning off the most sensitive infrastructure in the heart of Abuja. Now, coming to the protesters, well, I wouldn't say they're a new group. Of course, we know that Take It Back is fully involved in this particular protest. One of their coordinators was in the studio with Sheon last night. But of course, one of the prominent people that has to do with this protest, Omo Elishore, was using a particular rhetoric. And that's what you see on this particular document, Days of Rage. If you had followed some of the things that he had said on social media, he particularly used this particular phrase, Days of Rage. So I don't think these are new groups. They are almost... Noticed about this particular protest is that it's been some sort of organic. You find out that yes, this particular set of Omo Elisha, of course, Mr. All right, let's. Okay, I get it. But you find that there are lots of Nigerians that join the protest at any point in time, because of course, indeed, there's hunger in the land.
Thank you so much for your reporting, and as soon as there's an update, we can see what's happening behind you. As soon as there's an update, we are sure that you get back.